Whoa. Wait. You guys, you haven't been able to see me this whole time? What the heck? I was wondering why the views are down. I didn't click live. I'm such an idiot. I've been talking to myself for like the last 15 minutes. Oh my word. Oh my word. I'm so sorry, you guys. Oh God, I am such an idiot. I'm here like talking to you guys and like, I wonder like, why is there only 100 people here? Oh my word. Bless my heart. I'm like making trades, talking to you guys. I'm like, okay, so the trade I made on my funded futures, there to there, boom, there to there, a second time, boom. Loving it, man. Good Lord. All right. All right. Oops. Yeah, Matt forgot to click the live button because Matt's a freaking idiot. All right. Second time's a charm. Put another G in my pocket. God, I made that trade so many times today. Okay, so on my funded futures today, guys, thanks for waiting for me. I'm so sorry, y'all. My funded futures today, you guys saw on the channel, I bought DD Band, closed out. I bought DD Band, closed out. We broke through on NASDAQ. I bought NASDAQ DD Band twice today. I bought, closed out. I bought again, just closed out. I've been scalping this all the way back up. This has been some fun trading. You'll rewind it? I don't know because I didn't. I was broadcasting, but I didn't click live. So apparently you guys aren't going to see anything. Oh my gosh. I was wondering why. I'm like, how come nobody is talking to me? Do you not love me anymore? You hate my guts? Like what's going on? I'm looking at it. I'm like sitting here fumbling with it. I'm like, why is it not showing like a current viewers chart? It doesn't show anything. Like nobody can see my stream. I'm like, that's so weird. I can see chat. I can see me. It says there's 150 people, 100 people sitting here, but the graph is gone. And I'm just like, oh. And then when somebody finally said he must be streaming over there, and then I looked and said, oh God, I didn't click live. Don't break up with me, guys. You passed one of your FundedNext, no DLL evals today. Nice, dude, nice. That's awesome, man. You're gonna be ready for next week, huh? Let's see if this market turns around and recovers for today. Monthly hedge pressure holds, second round. I've scalped this enough. I'm not sure if I want to tap it one more time. I did. I've made 4 trades since I got off the stream earlier. I scalped there to there on S&P. I scalped here on NASDAQ twice. I'll just market jump all the way back up to highs again. That'd be kind of nice. I mean, I do have puts that might expire worthless, but that's okay. No, they expire next week. I'm an idiot. Next week. This is not June yet. I'm off. Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. V-shaped recovery and high of the day. Yeah. MHV Chase, yes. By the way, liquidity pocket, reclaim, bull zone, SPY. Very nice. Very nice. Bull zone tap, always good supports. I love the lower band. So was like NVIDIA though, because NVIDIA is going to be bumping into monthly hedge pressure any moment now. Yep. Very close. Hopefully Nvidia reclaims LP by the end of the day, but we'll see. We got about 1 more hour until the big ramp up into close. Or 2 more hours into close, 1 more hour till the ramp up starts. I take MHP if it breaks. I will, yeah. Yeah, if it crosses MHP, we're gonna go back up. Crosses here, I mean, we can move all the way higher. Now, let me see if I can find like an IRL on this. Oh, that's it, huh? All right, so there is really nothing on this. But yeah, I think that the problem is that I might not get a clean break. If it's going to break, it's going to be like... It looks like it wants to break so bad. This is good support on the S&P. Yeah, tap it one more time here. Jumping Moscow talking right now. Elon and Trump. What are they saying?
Over the years, from Joe Kiernan and Rick Santelli. This just came out, and we'll just play that for a second.
Personal income is up 0.8%. That is almost triple the expectations. Yeah, I'll tell you that the income numbers, really, for the first 4 months of the year, they're stellar. They're really stellar. I mean, I could go back and look at the first 4 months of many different years. Really very strong numbers, and you're right. This administration is criticized for just about everything under the sun. I've never, ever in my lifetime had glimpses into the politics of an administration in the form of transparency like this one. Why don't we be, give credit where credit is due. Income really shooting up.
Rick, I also thought everybody was going to get one last order of imports that were going to be tariffed, and they were loading up on things. How the hell they already fix the trade, or not fix it, but to cut it in half? That's crazy. So there wasn't a lot of front loading of things that they needed before the tariffs hit.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it really does call into question some of the conventional wisdoms. And, it's going to be interesting to see what happens next month when we get this number, or we see some of the other numbers like current account, see how they fared. Because I don't know, I've been watching these numbers a long time. I don't think I've ever seen the trade deficit cut in half in 1 month.
Not bad. Right? Not bad.
Come on, guys.
I see Howard and Scott are here, so it's great. You guys want to stand over here? You might as well. You're the ones that help produce those numbers, and it'll only get better. The tariffs are so important, and that's why we were so happy with the decision yesterday where the tariffs continue, because without the tariffs, our nation would be imperiled. We would really be imperiled. I think I can say that with great surety, Scott and Howard. And so we were very happy to get that decision, that big decision yesterday. And
Can I do it
today
one more
it's
time?
about a man named Elon.
One more time?
And he's one of the greatest business leaders and innovators the world has ever produced. He stepped forward to put his very great talents into the service of our nation, and we appreciate it. And I just want to say that Elon has worked tirelessly helping lead the most sweeping and consequential government reform program in generations. And you know the kinds of things that he's found and his people have found. He's brought a group of very smart people in, and they found things that are pretty unbelievable.
All right, one more time.
I have to say that the numbers that we're talking about are substantial, but they're going to be very much more substantial with time, because many of the things that we're working on right now, we're going to have to remember Elon as we find them. But
God, dude, like this has been printing all freaking morning, all freaking afternoon.
Many things we don't want to go out with them until we're sure, but we've found things that are unbelievably stupid and unbelievably
It's
bad.
20-point candles, 30-point candles, 40-point candles. Let's go.
A colossal change in the old ways of doing business in Washington. Doge has installed geniuses with an engineering mindset and unbelievably talented people in computers. I actually asked Elon one time, what's
People
their
in
primary
computers. I
thing?
love
They
how
have a
Trump
lot of
just sounds like a
primary
boomer.
Things all having to do with being smart, but he said the thing that they're really the best at is working with computers. So that
They are
can't
really
be
the best with
outsmarted by
computers.
somebody that's, not so honest.
Trump's like the kind of person that would call it the
happens to also
internets
be
with an
good
S on it.
computers, but not as good as these people. But the mindset in the senior ranks of
Come on,
every
Trump, say
federal
some good
department,
stuff. Big Papa,
it's really
let's go.
changed. And with Elon's guidance, they're helping to detect fraud, slash waste, and modernize broken and outdated systems. So as you know, we're talking about various systems and changing systems.
Spy loves
sadly,
liquidity
it
pocket.
takes
Let's
a
just
long
talk
time
about
to do
that. Spy loves
You'll
bull's own bottom.
Change, let's say, a system at IRS and computerize it properly, where the job can be done in 1/10 the time, but it takes sometimes years to rebuild those systems. But we've started, in many cases, I will say that this has less to do with Elon, but the air traffic control systems, we're bidding out to the best companies in the world, those systems right now. They were what the previous administration was horrible what they did. They spent billions and billions of dollars, and in the end, it didn't even come close to working. They tried to hook up wire to copper, and it can't be done. And they just spent billions of dollars and just wasted money. Actually made the system much worse. So we're going to get a brand new modern system. Congress is working with us on that, and we're going to get it done as quickly as we can. But it's in the works, and once it's done, it'll be good for 30 years. But we have a system that's 48 years old and would have a modern computer hooked into a very outdated computer, and they don't hook up. I mean, they didn't hook up. So after spending billions of dollars, they turned on the system, and in never any cases, from local to countrywide, they never worked. More than 75,000 bureaucrats have voluntarily left their taxpayer-funded jobs to come out and really do the job. Countless wasteful and unnecessary contracts have been terminated, and you know that we have terminated many, many contracts, and many contracts, Elon, are right now being looked at, yes. And it may be 6 months, it may be almost a year in some cases. We're going through procedures, we're going through courts, and we'll remember you as we announce billions of dollars of extra waste, fraud, and abuse. Just as an example, Doge canceled $101 million for DEI contracts at the Department of Education, $101 million, and that was just a small section of the Department of Education. $59 million for illegal alien hotel rooms in New York City, and the landlord never made the kind of money that he made in the last short period of time. $59 million to a hotel in New York City. $45 million for diversity, equity, and inclusion scholarships in Burma. In Burma, does anyone know about Burma? $42 million for social and behavioral change in Uganda. $40 million to improve the social and economic inclusion of sedentary migrants. I can say it's $2 billion to Stacey Abrams and her environmental movement. There was $100 in the account, and all of a sudden they found $2 billion in the account. And I assume that's being looked at. I don't know, I'm not sure, but I assume that's being looked at. Think of that, $2 billion. And then Lee will tell you there's another one over there for $20 billion being spent on another environmental cause. 20 billion, not 20 million, a lot, not 200,000, which is a lot. So think of it, in her case, you have $100, and now all of a sudden she gets hit with an infusion of $2 billion just before I take office. $20 million for Arab Sesame Street in the Middle East. Nobody knows what that's all about. Nobody's been able to find it. $8 million for making mice transgender. So they spend $8 million on
What? Mice transgender?
Transgender. And those are better than many of the others. I could sit here all day and read things just like that, but we have other things to do. So it's much, much more than just that. We're totally committed to making the Doge cuts permanent and stopping much more of the waste in the months to come. We want to get our great big beautiful bill finished and done. After that, we put some of this into the bill, but most of it's going to come later. We're going to have it cauterized by Congress, affirmed by Congress. In some cases, we'll make cuts. In some cases, we'll just use it in a different layer to save the money. But it's hundreds of billions of dollars. Doge has also fully modernized the federal retirement process and continues to work very hard on the IRS modernization. But we're taking that over with Doge. Many of the Doge people, Elon, are staying behind too, so they're not leaving. And Elon's really not leaving. He's going to be back and forth, I think. I have a feeling. It's his baby, and I think he's going to be doing a lot of things. But Elon's service to America has been without comparison in modern history. He's already running one of the most innovative car companies in the world. You look at his factories and compare them with some of the old factories we have, and it's a big difference. And the most successful space company, and I guess in history you would have to say the largest free speech platform on the internet, etc. Yet Elon willingly, with all of the success, he willingly accepted the outrageous.
It's like with Elon standing behind Donald Trump. It's kind of like, you got to think when you stand behind somebody, you know, that must be like the ultimate level of trust and power. The person that stands behind you is like the really. Elon with his like all black suit and his black hat literally looks like the real leader.
Americans owe him a great,
you know what I mean? Like he's standing over the desk of his secretary. That's what it kind of feels like.
Special government employee. Can you imagine? They call him an employee, but it's a
have an
special
interesting
government employee, and for coming and helping us.
Like you don't normally stand behind somebody unless you're their boss, right?
You know, maybe we'll cut 1% or 2% or 3%. Then they said, "Wow, we can cut a lot more than that."
Elon standing there, kind of like Lumbergh from Office Space. Yeah, that's great.
On the march, we're making America great again.
Yeah, Peter, what's happening?
Saudi Arabia,
hey, Donald.
We were in,
what's
as
happening?
You know, 3 really great countries, predominantly the 3.
Oh shit! There we go. Let's make it.
Great.
Let's print.
UAE was great. Saudi Arabia,
print.
incredible. What like such an incredible experience to be in those 3 countries.
Better, man.
But the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, and I must tell you, the leaders, the great leaders of the other 2 that we just mentioned.
I'm going to trade so many freaking times
the same thing
today.
That the United
Dude,
States
Dee Bam was
hottest
printing
country
all
right
morning,
now
man. This is
anywhere in
great.
the world.
That's so
and
good.
6 months ago, we thought it was dead. It was like a dead country. And it would have been a dead
175 between 7 another 40 points on this.
There would have been a
Gonna get some more green on this, baby.
Situation was going on with the borders, with transgender for everyone, men playing in women's sports, and so much more. But they were saying the hottest country anywhere in the world. And then I played that little clip because that was one person who's respected.
I'll take my 40.
Or 2 people because Joe was.
I don't know what I'm going to do from here, though. I mean, it'd be nice to ride something all the way up, but I feel like I've milked this enough today. What do y'all think?
Something about the success of what we've done over the last 4 months. They cannot believe it. In the one case, they said they've never seen anything like it as long as they've been doing what they've been doing. They've been doing it for a long time. So I just, I want to thank Elon for helping. And again, you know, the United States right now is the hottest country anywhere in the world. There's no country as hot. And we're doing really well. We're We came, when I left, we had no
I
wars,
love how
we had no problems.
Elon is
We defeated
also
ISIS,
kind of
we
like
rebuilt
a
our military,
bored 8-year-old at church.
And we had no inflation.
Like, look at him. He just
And,
can't
when I
stop
came back, we
fidgeting
had
and
a
looking
lot of
around and staring
inflation.
around the
We had
room.
wars all over the
That's
place.
just his personality, you
We
know.
had the embarrassment in Afghanistan where we gave up.
It's kind of like, you know, you ever
billions
take
and
your
billions of dollars
child to
of
church and they're
military
sitting there like
equipment, the most
looking
embarrassing
around and
moment in the
fidgeting and like,
history of our
hey,
country.
Elon, pay
I
attention.
believe that strongly. We have Russia with Ukraine. We had the attack on Israel.
I'm sure he just feels so
October,
bored around everyone else because no
horrible
one's near
attack,
close to being
October 7th.
as smart as him at anything.
Horrible attack. Nobody's ever seen
He
anything
just
like
probably
it.
loses patience like in any
And,
situation.
now we have
That's the
something
ketamine?
where
Yeah,
we're
it's
really
probably the
healing
ketamine
a lot
too.
of that. We stopped India.
He's on
and
spectrum. Yeah, he is.
Pakistan
He is. Yeah.
From fighting, I believe that could have turned out into a nuclear disaster. And I want to thank the leaders of India, the leaders of Pakistan, and I want to thank my people also. We talked
God, what a
trade.
crazy like
And
midday
we said
flush. That
we
was
can't
just
trade
nuts.
with people that are shooting at each other and potentially using nuclear weapons. And they're great leaders in those countries, and they understood and they agreed. And that all stopped, and we're stopping others from fighting also.
We go
'cause
back up to,
ultimately
like,
we can
highs and
fight
stuff
better
today,
than
guys?
anybody.
What do
We
y'all
have the
think?
greatest military in the world. We have the greatest leaders in the world. We put one of them in charge of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, as you know, General Raisin Kane. And we wiped out ISIS, completely wiped out ISIS in 3 weeks. They said it would take 5 years, and we did it in 3 weeks. And that's the way it is, but we don't want to have to use our military. We want to be peace through strength when we can. And that's the way we're going to have it.
All right, I'll be right back. I'm going to go restroom real quick.
People, most of those people are staying, almost all of them are staying, and they're going to be with us. And you're going to see the results coming long into the future. Even a year and 2 years later, you're going to see a lot of the results, and those hundreds of billions of dollars are going to be adding up, and they're going to continue to add. It'll be interesting, really interesting to see what the final number is going to be. But again, Elon gave an incredible service. Nobody like him, and he had to go through the slings and the arrows, which is a shame because he's an incredible patriot. The good news is that 90% of the country knows that, and they appreciate it, and they really appreciate what he did. And I gave him a little special something we have here.
Thank you.
A very special that I give to very special people. I have given it to some, but it goes to very special people, and I thought I'd give it to Elon as a presentation from our country.
Thank you.
Thank you, Elon.
Thank you.
Take care of yourself.
Thank you. I've seen a lot. The luck on this is amazing.
Large lot.
Well, let me say perhaps a few words that this is not the end of Doge, but really the beginning. My time as a special government employee necessarily had to end. It was a limited time thing. It's 134 days, I believe, which ends in a few days. So, so that it comes with a time limit. But the Doge team will only grow stronger over time. The Doge influence will only grow stronger. It's I'd liken it to sort of Buddhism. It's like a way of life. So it is permeating throughout the government. And I'm confident that over time we'll see $1 trillion of savings and a reduction in $1 trillion of waste and fraud reduction. The calculations of the Doge team thus far, in terms of an FY25 to FY26 delta, are over 160 billion, and that's climbing. We expect that number will probably go over 200 billion soon. So I think the Doge team is doing an incredible job. They're going to continue doing an incredible job, and I'll continue to be visiting here and be a friend and advisor to the president, and I look forward to times being back in this amazing room. By the way, isn't this incredible? Look at this incredible. I mean, it's stunning. I think the way that the Oval Office, how the president has just completely redone the Oval Office. It's beautiful. I love the gold on the ceiling.
Thank you. It's pretty nice.
Yeah.
That's been there a long time. That was plaster. Nobody ever really saw it. They didn't know the eagle was up there, and we highlighted. It's essentially it's a landmark.
Ooh, the market's ripping here.
It's 24-karat gold, and everybody loved it. And now they all see it when they come in. So it's been good.
The Oval Office finally has the majesty that it deserves, thanks to the president. Though So I look forward to continuing to be a friend and advisor to the president, continuing to support the Doge team, and we are relentlessly pursuing $8 trillion in waste and fraud reductions, which will benefit the American taxpayer. That's it, really. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
All right.
Great job. Thank you.
Thank you, President Trump. The president mentioned that you had to deal with all the slings and arrows during your time at Doge. There's this.
Well, some of the people, some of the media organizations in this room were the slingers.
Well, so there is a New York Times report today that accuses you of blurring the line between.
Is the New York Times, is that the same publication that got a Pulitzer Prize for false reporting on the Russiagate? Is it the same organization?
I got to check my Pulitzer counter.
It is.
I think the judge just ruled against the New York Times for their lies about the Russiagate hoax, and that they might have to give back that Pulitzer Prize. That New York Times. Let's move on.
Okay, then
Next
President
question.
Trump. I got one for President Trump. So President Trump, Biden aides who used to work here are in talks with Republicans in Congress.
If I
to go
tap
and
monthly hedge
testify
pressure, if I grab
about
one more long,
what they
I'll go one more
did or
time.
didn't do to possibly conceal President Biden's decline. Do you think that Dr. Jill Biden should
awesome.
also have to come in and testify about what she did or didn't do?
Well, I hate the concept of it. It's the wife of a man who was going through a lot of problems, and everybody that dealt with him understood that. And I guess it came out during the debate loud and clear. That was the biggest signal of all. They have to do what's right. The country was there was a lot of dishonesty in the election, as you know, 2020. That's been now caught. People understand it. It was a rigged election. And when you go further out, when you see the auto pen, I mean, I think the auto pen is going to become one of the great scandals of all time, because you have somebody operating it or a number of people operating. Because I knew Joe Biden. Joe Biden wasn't in favor of opening up borders, letting 21 million people into this from prisons and mental institutions and gang members. He wasn't into that at all. And who signed these orders, proclamations, and all of the different things that he signed that set our country so far back, that was so bad for our country?
With the auto pen, how would it work? Like, we're in the Oval Office right now. If there was a group of rogue staffers that worked for you who wanted to advance a bill or an executive order without your knowledge, how could they do it? How do they go
Well, it's very
behind
hard,
the
because
president's
I'd
back?
read your newspapers or your media the next day, and I'd say, well, I didn't approve that, and I would find it. I mean, they wouldn't get away with it for long, because they'd say, I never signed that. Who the hell signed that? Auto pens.
Can I show the
to me,
dashboard for
people
FundedNext?
used
What do you mean?
sign,
What do you want to see?
Because we get, I think they said 20,000 letters a week, and you like to be able, when somebody takes the time to write a letter, it's nice to sort of write back. And
What's up,
auto pens
Joey?
are
What's
meant
up, man?
for that. Auto pens are not meant to sign major
How you been, brother?
proclamations or
What about the dashboard on FundedNext?
to do with the border, which is so important. And if it happened on my watch, I would.
Ken,
be able to
I saw
see
your
it,
question
because the next
earlier.
day
I'm
or
not really
sooner, I'd be
sure.
reading about something that I knew nothing about.
I use
Who the hell
Tradeovate. I
signed
don't
it?
use Ninja Traders, so I don't know if it's going to have any issues signing up through Ninja. It should be fine if it works on Tradeovate.
About 81, I think it was 81.
Where would profit target be from here?
And,
212 to 304 balance. That's what I'm watching for.
People that I think should be signed by us. I think when you write letters to.
How was your training day, Joey? Did you crush it today,
presidents
brother?
and prime ministers, you should be signing those letters. not
Find our
done
way
with
back.
auto pens.
This is kind of
I
a fun
understand
day.
you signed almost everything with an auto pen. It's a very dangerous thing.
Look over this.
It really means you're not president.
That-
Whoever operated the auto pen. and we
Also
can-
another
we
trade
know
here
who
to hear a
that
second
is.
time. Forget both of those.
And it was actually more than one person.
Yeah.
That's not what.
212 was
the
pretty
presidency is
decent.
all about.
Possible
I hardly
long
used
setup.
to-
Asking about the tariffs.
Tariffs on China. You said that they violated the agreement with the U.S.
Well, they did. They violated a big part of the agreement.
There you go. Like, literally.
You read that whole statement. I was very nice to them. I helped them because they were in trouble with
LOL.
the stoppage of a massive amount of.
That's
business.
all.
But
Nobody.
I'm sure
Everyone's
they'll
like,
speak
we don't
to
care about what you're
President Xi,
saying. We're just over here
hopefully
like
we'll work that
fighting
out.
for our friends on Wall
That's a-
Street. You
it's
know,
a
say something
violation
about
of
the
the
tariffs.
agreement.
Mr. President, can you give us
Like
an
that.
update to the latest ceasefire agreement that
Come on,
Israel
man.
has,
Say the
agreed to,
line.
but Hamas
Yeah,
still
Bart. Say the
stands in it?
line.
Well, they're very close to
I
an
didn't do
agreement
it.
on Gaza.
Yeah.
And we'll let you know about
Like
it
that
during
episode of
the
The
day or maybe
Simpsons.
tomorrow, and we have a chance.
I didn't do it,
think
kid.
We have a chance of making a deal with
Trump,
Iran.
say the line.
Also. They don't want to be blown up. They would
China
rather make a
tariffs.
deal. And I think that could happen in the not too distant future. That would be a great thing if we could have a deal without bombs being dropped all over the Middle East. That would be a very good thing. They can't have.
He didn't even say anything. Like,
We want them to be.
He just
safe. We
repeated
want
the
them
same
to
thing
have
I said
a very,
earlier.
Very successful nation. Let it be a great nation.
China
but we
violated
can't
the
have-
deal.
they
Yeah,
cannot
that's
have
the.
nuclear weapons.
Wonder why the market is
And,
like
I think we're
responding at
fairly
all
close
to that.
a deal with Iran.
Question for you.
Yeah, please.
You said just now that you look forward to being a friend and advisor to the president. So do you
Well, I am.
expect to continue
I always look forward.
advising the president and Doge informally, or
What? Where'd the feed go? What the heck? Did we lose the video?
Yeah,
there it is.
I expect to remain a friend and an advisor, and certainly.
All Gamma wins on that one. There you go. Yep.
At the present, so-
Grab that long there. Nice.
Doge, you said that there was a $1 trillion promise for cuts from Doge.
Yes, I think we do expect over time to achieve the $1 trillion.
But what have you found in your time here was the biggest roadblock to getting those cuts? Was it the cabinet or was it Congress?
Say the
or
line,
something
Bart.
else? What was the biggest roadblock from your work?
All right, Yvonne never saw that episode.
It's mostly just a lot of hard work. It's really not any one person or Congress. It's going through really millions of line items and saying just each one of them makes sense or does not make sense. Obviously, at times when you cut expenses, those who are receiving the money, whether they're receiving that money legitimately or not, they do complain. And you're not going to hear someone confessing that they received money inappropriately. Never. They're going to always say that they received money appropriately for an important cause. Naturally, that's what you'd expect.
I never thought I'd
so
say
we just
this,
have,
but shouldn't we be learning something?
So just a lot of work going through the vast expenses of the federal government and just really asking questions. What's this money for? Are you sure it's actually being used well? Many times we can't even find anyone who defends it. So for a lot of the expenses, there is actually no defender at all. And then we have to just work through the process of stopping the spending, where there's often literally no defender. Nobody even knows why the money's being spent. It's truly absurd. I mean, we find situations where there are millions of software licenses with 0 people using them. 0. Exactly. This is the quizzical expression. You're like, surely, if there's millions of software licenses, someone should be using them. No, and then we've got to go through the process of saying, okay, look, if no one's using the software, we need to terminate this software license agreement. That's everywhere in the government, by the way.
Mr. Musk, what do you think would be easier, colonizing Mars or making the government efficient?
It's a tough call, but I think colonizing Mars and making life multi-planetary is harder. And as I said, we do expect to achieve over time the $1 trillion of savings. We can't do it in like a few months, but if you say by I think the official end of Doge, which the president may choose to extend, is the middle of next year. Say by the middle of next year, with the support of the president and Congress, could we achieve $1 trillion of savings? I think so. We're on track to do so.
Do you have faith that Congress is going to?
Thank you, Mr. President. You had mentioned earlier in the week that Doge had become a whipping boy, and as the president mentioned, you went through a lot to go through this process.
Yeah.
Was it worth it for you, and what would you change?
Yes, so what we found was happening was that if there were any cuts anywhere, then people would assume that was done by Doge. And so we became like essentially the Doge boogeyman, where if any cut anywhere would be ascribed to Doge. A friend of mine's daughter, who's at law school at Georgetown, thought that Doge had cut the Senate, internships the legal internships for the Senate, and we have nothing to do with that. So if they have been cut, it's not to do with us. Just as an example. So, it just became a bit ridiculous where any cut anywhere was somehow Doge, and including things that made no sense, and we would agree made no sense. There are many things that occur in the government because it's the banal evil of bureaucracy. It's sort of the the frankly largely uncaring nature of bureaucracy. It's as the great Milton Friedman said, money is spent most poorly when it is someone else's money being spent on people you don't know, and that's how federal spending is. And then you can't really even blame the individuals, because the way the government works is complaint minimization. So when you do try to, when someone within the government tries to stop money being spent,
I almost like
there's usually
hate
some
that I didn't
other
hold on
ways.
that long, but
And
I was
then
waiting for. I didn't
the
think he was going to
manager
say
will
something right
it's
that
not
moment.
worth
I was
it.
hoping that would dip down and
Just
grab
do
it,
anyway.
but it
That
only
happens
dipped to
over
here and
and
then
over.
moved, so I didn't even get a good entry.
I think it was an important thing. I think it was a necessary thing, and I think it will have a good effect in the future.
Thank you, President Trump. This week there was a video on board a plane that showed the First Lady of France slapping her husband, Emmanuel Macron. Do you have any world leader to world leader marital advice on those
Make sure the door remains closed. That was not good. That was not good. No, I spoke to him, and he's fine too. They're fine. They're two really good people. I know them very well, and I don't know what that was all about, but I know them very well, and they're fine.
What do you think about this Democratic Party plan to avoid being swept in every battleground state again by spending $20 million to study how to speak to American men?
Well, you know, they spent 2.8 billion. We spent 1.5. We spent much less. We spent about half of what they spent, and at the end they were $28 million short. They had to be. They spent 2.8 billion. It's a lot, but they couldn't get 28 million at the end, and now they want to spend. I read that they want to spend money to learn how to talk. That's fake. You don't want to be fake. You shouldn't have to hire consultants to say what America needs, because then the consultants should be running the deal, not them. But I read that they want to spend a lot of money in each state. So we won all 7 swing states, 7 out of 7. We won a lot more than that. We won the popular vote. We won everything. And they want to spend money to find out what they did wrong. And I mean, I can tell you what they did wrong. I can tell you every one of their programs, when they say men playing in women's sports, I would say that's not a winner. When they say transgender for everybody, I think that's not a winner. When they say open borders so the entire world population of criminals can pour into our country, I don't think that's a winner. I mean, I just gave them that for free. But I don't know if they'll change their ways. I see them all the time. I see people that I know in Congress, Democrats, they're trying to justify some of the things I just said. You can't justify them. I always hear they're 80-20 issues. I say they're not 80-20, they're 97-3. They might be 99-1. They're not 80-20. They wish they were 80-20. And they're wasting a lot of
these
money.
are like
They're gonna continue
Friday
on.
silliness for sure.
A little bit more of a page 6 question. But
All right, that 21304 tap yellow line, that's pretty nice to see.
That Diddy was a good friend of yours back then. He has since found himself in some very serious legal trouble.
Yeah, that's true.
Would you ever consider pardoning him?
Pardoning Diddy?
Well, nobody's asked. You had to be the one to ask, Peter, but nobody's asked. But I know people are thinking about it. I know they're thinking about it. I think some people have been very close to asking. First of all, I'd look at what's happening, and I haven't been watching it too closely, although it's certainly getting a lot of coverage.
Are you going to pardon
I haven't
Diddy?
seen him.
That's
I haven't spoken to
hilarious.
him in years. He used to really like me a lot. I think when I ran for politics, he sort of that relationship
That's great.
busted up. From what I read, I don't know. He didn't tell me that, but I'd read some little bit nasty statements in the paper all of a sudden. It's different. You become a much different person when you run for politics and you do what's right. I could do other things, and I'm sure he'd like me, and I'm sure other people would like me, but it wouldn't be as good for our country. As we said, our country's doing really well because of what we're doing. So it's not a popularity contest. So I don't know. I would certainly look at the facts. If I think somebody was mistreated, whether they like me or don't like me, it wouldn't have any impact on me.
Mr. President, on the big beautiful bill, would you like to see the Senate build in some support for your tariffs on the big beautiful bill, or should that be a standalone bill?
I have great support on the tariffs. I mean, I was so honored that we got that ridiculous stay lifted, because that would have taken away presidential.
I'll be back in like 1 minute. Hold on. I gotta run downstairs really quick.
Everything that was granted by the founders, it would have been a terrible thing. And it would have, most importantly, would have left us vulnerable. We have a lot of countries that use tariffs on us and use them viciously, actually, viciously. And if we didn't have the power to use tariffs on them, and instantly, not when you go back to Congress and try and get hundreds of people to agree on something, that would take months to get just one simple proclamation. If we didn't have the power to counteract their powers, you wouldn't have a country left. We have to act fast. We have to be fast and nimble, as they say. And that was a really great moment, I think, yesterday when that stay was lifted. And hopefully now we'll go to court and just win that battle. Because if we don't have the power to do what they're doing to us, we are going to be a great nation no longer.
Elon Musk was once idolized by folks on the left in this country before joining your administration. Now he's considered a hero by conservatives. Why do you think this man, what he's done in American life, has been so politicized? Does it only have to do with you?
His life has been amazing. I mean, I look at so many different things. I look at that rocket being, guided back into position. I've never seen that before. I thought it was a space movie. I thought it was a movie. You look at what he's done in terms of communication, it's been unbelievable. So many different, even tunnels going underground, not having to go through all the process of going, he's got a company that does that. He's got so many different companies. Starlink, as an example, he saved a lot of lives, probably hundreds of lives in North Carolina. I don't even know if you remember, but I called you. They needed Starlink in North Carolina. And I didn't know what the hell Starlink was. I said, what is it? Who owns it? He said, do you know Elon Musk? I said, yeah, I happen to know the gentleman. This was before his government stay. And they said, we really need it because North Carolina was literally became an island. It was, people had no communication. They had no access to anything, and they were dying. And I called up Elon, and you can't get it because it's so successful. It's very hard to get. And he had so much of it brought over there, and they told me it was unbelievable. It saved a lot of lives. So, he's just done a lot of things.
Run an errand for
IDOC. Frankly, I don't think he gets credit for what he's done.
Pardons, did he? Market tanks. That's hilarious.
You know what?
All right, so.
If he wasn't it, but he did the same things, I'd probably maybe speak differently.
Dill pickle hummus.
A really good person who loves the
Oh, I'm out of breath. 3 flights of stairs, a lot. I thought it'd be like dill flavored hummus. There's actually like pickles in this thing. Like ground up pickles. Hella good. And jalapeno chips. I know it might not seem like it goes together.
It cuts your deficits. It cuts,
That's good, man.
Cutting. But there's the things I'd like to see maybe cut a little bit more. I'd like to see a bigger cut in tax.
It tastes like
largest tax.
It literally tastes like
in the history of our
when you get what do they call it?
I'd like to see it get down to any
deviled eggs. Kind of has like that flavor.
For a slightly lower number, I would have liked to have done that. But with all of that
or
being
pickle,
said,
you got turned into food.
Look at the tax cut and the fact that the original tax cut, which made us so successful, we had the most successful 4 years in the history of our country, the economy, and this is going to be even better. And you see that. By
Do I know Future Scalper? I have no idea who that is.
Or tonight, I guess they were released this
morning. Is he as good as me?
8 o'clock. You see the kind of numbers where somebody that's a
on YouTube.
Like, whoa! I haven't seen numbers like this since I've been.
I'll be real though.
These
There's nobody on YouTube as good as me.
Emotions of professionals that have never seen numbers.
I'm not trying to brag.
We've just started. The bill is
but
a great
I haven't seen anybody else out there.
It's going to be
with a comparable trading style strategy system or profit
with the Senate, with the House.
Profitability. Everyone else out there seems good, but
it extends the Trump tax cuts.
I haven't seen anybody that really
get approved. You'll have a 68% tax increase. You're going to go up 68%. That's a number that nobody's ever heard of before. You'll have a massive tax.
I needed a snack, but you're bringing me banh mi, so I'm not gonna eat too much.
A large tax cut, the largest we've ever had.
Who is Future Scalper? What kind of trader do they do?
Got you. The Trump tax. They call them the Trump tax cuts. It's an amazing bill. It does amazing things. With all of that, it's going to be adjusted a little bit over the next coming weeks, and I think it's going to be passed. The Republicans want to pass.
You guys know what Miss Vicky's jalapeno chips? Oh, they're the best.
It does, including an extension of debt.
That is like the best potato chip ever created.
If we don't extend debt, we're in default.
The combo goes crazy. It wasn't bad. Pickle hummus. It's kind of like hit or miss. It kind of has like that. Like I said, like when you eat a deviled egg, the texture of the creamy part.
That
Because it's hummus with pickles, literally like ground up into them, into it. It's not just dill flavored hummus. It's literally hummus with dill pickles in it.
And he was well-meaning. I don't
pretty good.
hold anything against him for that, but that was put on our plate when it should have been on the Democrats. September 28th, a famous date. It should have been taken care of by the Democrats, but this person,
Futures Scalper does extreme DCA.
gave it to us.
Let me look this dude up.
So that in June that comes due. Well, we have to take care of that, because if we don't take care of it, we have a country in default, and we don't ever want to have a country in default. You know, I'll tell you.
What the hell?
A certain
2,000 people
senator,
watching this dude.
Elizabeth Warren.
I've never heard of this guy. The
She
hell?
would never ever
I've never heard of this dude.
allow a default on our debt. She would never let
Dude,
that
these
happen, and she
influencers
would like
pop
to
up
get
left
rid
and
of
right
the
here and
debt
there.
ceiling, what's called the debt ceiling. I call it the debt extension because we really need an extension. That she'd like to see that gotten rid of, and there are many people that agree. Many Democrats agree with that, but we gave that through, and you know, I don't want to say an error. He did it well-meaning. They gave that to
DCAs
us.
a lot.
It was a Democrat problem just before the election.
Above
It had a
accounts
huge
left and right.
impact on the election. And to our benefit, we won anyway, but to our
More power to
benefit.
him.
But felt
The
that
stream
really
is
for the good
hideous.
of the country,
Somebody
we
that
should
makes
extend
money
that.
trading should probably
But
invest in
Elizabeth
like some
Warren
quality
and various
stuff.
Other people would like to see that her whole
Like,
career she
no
wanted
camera,
to see it,
no anything. There's like cut and paste stuff all over the chat.
not being voted on every 5 years or 10 years.
Looks like
And
a
the reason was because it's so catastrophic.
24 pack of
And I always
Krillin
agreed
markers
with her. That
explode
was
all
one
over his
thing I
screen.
agreed with
Jeez,
her
this
on.
guy is like
Now I haven't spoken to her, but
not making
I
fun,
would say
but
that if you asked
it's
her
like
that
completely
question
low
now, she'd
production
say,
quality.
No, it's their problem. But it's a very unfortunate.
Seems like a nice,
situation. It's a very unfair situation.
nice profits
And she
today,
happened to
though.
be
I
right
never
on
heard of
that.
this guy.
It should be gotten rid of, or it should simply be extended. But that's one.
I think if
of
you're
the
gonna
things
spend your
that
time
gets
streaming, you
taken
really
care
should
of in this
invest in
bill.
like
That automatically gets extended for a
you know,
4-year
good streaming
period.
gear and
And it should be. But I agree with Elizabeth Warren on that. I think you should get rid of it. It's too catastrophic.
you know, production quality is important these days. As modern streamers should definitely
international students, are they still welcome?
should definitely you know, reward the viewers by giving them a more pleasant experience than just like cluttered screen and bad camera and stuff, bad mic. You know, a good streamer should invest in good lighting, good camera, and really kind of make it, it's your career. I mean, it's your show. You should probably put some effort into it.
$5 billion plus.
He doesn't show us negatives? Oh, I'm sure he doesn't.
Nobody knew that. We found that out. I wouldn't say that was a Doge thing, but we found that out over a period of time. That was sort of a Trump thing. We ended up in litigation for other reasons because they're very anti-Semitic.
I swear to God, I thought I'm streaming in
And in
1080p
finding out
or
and
higher. Why is it only giving me
going
720?
the books, we found
What
out that
options
the
do you guys
country
have on
had
YouTube to switch as
$5
far as your
billion plus, much more than that,
stream
actually.
quality?
And we're having it out with them, and let's see what happens. I think
You guys have
we a
1080p?
very good, well, it's a very
Streaming
sad
gears,
case.
Matty.
It's
Let's
a case
go.
we
Yeah,
can't
exactly.
lose
Like
that
invest a
case.
little bit in your streaming
Because we
stuff.
have the right to make grants. We're not going to make any grants like that. But I don't think Harvard's been acting very nicely. I think Columbia wants to get to the bottom of the problem. They've acted very well. And there are other institutions, too, that are acting, but
I
Harvard's
get
trying to
1080p?
be
Oh, okay.
a big shot. And all that
I don't know on my
happens is
phone I
every
can't get
3
1080p.
days we
Maybe it's on my
find another
phone.
$100 million.
I know you can stream in 2K on
2
YouTube.
days ago, we
I thought
found
it was
$200
streaming in
million
2K, but I realized I'm only
more.
streaming in
The money's
1080p.
given to them like gravy.
I'll up my bitrate
I'd
for
like to
Monday and
the
see if I
money
can
go
get
to
2K
trade
going.
school, where people learn how to fix motors and engines, where people learn how to build rocket ships. Because, you know, somebody has to build those rocket ships.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see trade schools set up, because you could take $5 billion plus hundreds of billions more, which is what's spent, and you could have the greatest trade school system anywhere in the world. And that's what we need, to build his rockets and robots and things that he's doing, and to
Yeah,
build
can do
lots of
1080,
other
okay.
things. And, you know, I went to school with people. In some cases, they weren't good students, but they could fix the engine of a car better than anybody.
But do you
I've ever
understand
seen.
that
They
guy?
could
Oh, you're talking about the
take
other
a
streamer who
black
buys
belt, they had
accounts in
ability
bulk
that.
like 100 times and
they
blows
did
them
very
up.
well. They made a lot
The
of
ones that
money.
make it
That's a
up,
very
but
skilled
complete
job.
brute
It's
force
great.
trading.
But I'd
Oh
like to see
yeah.
a lot of money going into trade schools. I've always felt that. And
Dude, I'm
we
telling you, people
probably
like that
found
just
our
make me
pot of
upset
gold, and
because
that's what's
there
been
are people that follow that
wasted
and they get like into
at
that kind of
places
thing.
like Harvard. And the
And
money's been
zero
wasted.
people there are consistently doing anything, making money, nothing.
What, is your eye okay? What happened to your eye? I noticed there's a bruise.
Blowing up left and
wasn't,
right. That's not a
I
good
was
trader.
carrying your
Nah,
press,
dude.
So But
2 likes to reach 100 likes. Oh yeah, guys, smash the like button for 100. How you been? How you been, Abby?
I didn't notice.
Hold up.
So,
Abby, I'll also
over
make you a mod at our channel. Hold on.
and I said,
That way you can.
Go ahead, punch me in the face, and he did. Turns out even a 5-year-old.
You don't have to be a mod, but if you're here,
No, it was X.
you always can
X could do it. If you knew X, you
I
could
saw his
do
mom
it.
right now.
get your honor. Honor tag.
I didn't really feel much at the time. I guess it bruises up. But I just
Reaching through to 300s? Probably, but we still have 3 or 4 resistance right now. I took those long scalps all today on my funded, man. That was great. I mean, I hit that 5 times since we've been sitting here. 2 times on my funded. The 3rd time when the stream started, 1, 2, and 3.
Right, and so not your war, but
I didn't take this last little move when Trump was talking. I was actually waiting for hedge pressure to test. By the end of the day, I'd love to see this guy move all the way down to here. Hit that test.
deal with a very stubborn Vladimir
You're gonna ban all the mods out of jealousy.
But do you look at this conflict?
Idoclix bans people all the time on accident. You have to be careful because one time she accidentally timed somebody out for a whole day and he never came back, by the way.
I've known him very well.
I was having the greatest conversation with somebody in chat. Very inquisitive person, very technical person, very intelligent person, talking about gamma exposure and all this stuff. And IDOC bans him for a day because she's fallen asleep while watching her phone and like slipped. And her thumb accidentally bans the guy for a day or something. Oh, no, you were driving. That's right.
Washington Post also.
Bans the guy for like a 24-hour ban on accident. Can't unban him. And then we never hear from him again. This person could have been the next force to reshape rockets good for all of us. This could have been the next Einstein in gamma exposure. Gone forever.
We were going to solve a problem, and then all of a sudden rockets got shot into.
Oh, you timed out. Yeah, you also timed out another mod while falling asleep while holding the phone. So David, I think the guy's name was David or something.
So I'm very
never heard from him again. 2 ships passing the night. We were broing out on math.
Even more than that, but 5,000 people a week are being killed. Mostly soldiers, but also people that live in.
He probably sat there talking to himself, not knowing that I couldn't see it.
And I'd like to see that stop.
Probably had the best ideas for rocket scooter.
I want to ask you directly. So many of the things you're trying to do
right.
are held up in court right now. If the courts are going to have so much influence over U.S. policy, do you wish you would have just become a judge instead?
The gamma guy?
Yeah, well, look, it wasn't meant to be that way. If you look at the founders, the president had certain powers. You 3 groups, and they all had supposed to be pretty equal powers. But you can't have a judge in Boston running foreign policy in places all over the country because he's got a liberal bent or he's a radical left person. That's
I understand how people like that get a huge following, just blowing up Apex
checks
accounts
and
all day.
balances. But we had millions of people pour into our country. Many criminals poured into our country. Murderers, mental institutions from all over the world being emptied out into our country. And if we don't get them out and get them out quickly, could lose your country very easily.
The person just basically shows like just their green accounts and they blow up everything else.
You know, with all of the things, we took over inflation.
Oh, my mic has awesome quality. Well, thank you.
A lot of problems that didn't exist when I was president. None of it existed. We wiped out ISIS.
I have a mic
Other than that,
going through
we had no wars.
a preamp.
Putin was
And
never
they have 2
Ukraine.
pieces of software it goes
Israel would
through
have never been attacked.
for basically like
had no money.
vocal quality.
They didn't have money for Hamas. They didn't have money for Hezbollah. They had no money whatsoever. That wasn't going to happen.
I have a compressor, noise gate.
Inflation.
I have a really good EQ app that goes through. So the mic gives a lot of there's a lot of software behind the mic as well, but the mic is really good. It's a Rode Podcaster. I have this mic for 10 years. It's still in perfect condition.
Their criminal population into the United States, and of all
it was only like $200.
That, are bad. I solved inflation, I believe, already.
But yeah, I get some good audio quality, and my room is decked out with like.
They screwed up the energy. They screwed up the cost of gasoline.
I have audio dressing all around, so I have fiberglass panels. I got them all around the room. So in here, it doesn't pick up any echo. There's no twang. It's very quiet, just like a radio station.
They couldn't afford the energy.
So there's all kind of little parts to the sound quality. And one of my favorite things is to always make the sound slightly better.
$1.99.
It's like a science. I love having fun with it.
First time people have seen that in a long time since my term. But the hardest thing to solve is millions of people pouring into.
He rotates accounts, high frequency, high leverage as he blows up, swaps to another account to get to the green. He's very upfront about it.
They're sending the people that they don't want. They don't want the people that are there.
You know, the only person that makes money doing that is a person that gets $40,000 a month in affiliate sales to be able to do that. It's absolutely the dumbest thing to do for a new trader. You're gonna be spending so much money rotating accounts so much.
Try and study why would they want to do this?
Especially
Why would they
Apex.
want to sell it? Why would they want to buy it? One thing I can't figure out is what would an administration?
I bullish or bearish? Bullish.
When they allowed
Bullish today. I'd like to see today a hedge pressure bounce to support the end of the day. I'd like to see this to be where I take a final long from.
Congo, in Africa, hundreds of people, thousands of people from the Congo, rough.
Oh yeah, no boot camp today. Not today. You guys can have the day off.
From Asia, from Europe, rough parts of Europe.
IDOC's making me go somewhere with her later.
Come into our country. Why would they do that? It's the one thing I can't figure out. And I don't believe it was Joe Biden. I really don't. I mean, look, he's been a sort of a moderate person over his lifetime. Not a smart person, but a somewhat vicious person, I will say. If you feel sorry for him, don't feel so sorry because he's vicious. What he did with his political opponent and all of the people that he hurt a lot of people, Biden. And so I really don't feel sorry for him. But he wasn't a person that would allow murderers to come into our country. He wasn't a person that was in favor of transgender for anybody that wanted it, take kids out of families, et cetera, et cetera. So I just don't understand why a thing like this, how a thing like this could have been allowed to happen. Very sad. It's very sad for our country.
I think the fundamental moral flaw of the left is empathy for the
You didn't make me. I wanted to tag along. Okay, fine. I don't want to tag along anymore.
empathy for the criminals.
I wanted to tag along so I can buy you a gift, but if you don't want me to, that's okay.
Too much of that. That needs to stop. To the president's point, there's been immense judicial overreach that is unconstitutional. That was never intended, and it's undermining the people's faith in the legal system.
Those two bear zone trades killed me. Yeah, they did. They got me too. I've been crawling back all day. Am I a gamer, Abby? Yeah, I am. I do. I play a lot of first-person shooters, a lot of MMOs. I was playing Call of Duty a lot this year, the new one.
We had two important decisions yesterday.
I'm playing Elden Ring right now.
Again, we have to be able to fight.
Did I manage to lose and still come back big? Well, I'm not coming back big. I'm coming back a little bit. I mean, I'm still kind of like fighting for the day.
I mean, if we didn't have that power of tariffs,
I just stick to my guns. I mean, I still take the same trades. The liquidity pocket worked multiple times. It didn't work. It worked again. It worked again. Worked, and then it failed. And I'm trading DD ban on the way up. So I just basically keep fighting pivots the whole way down. And you guys, we always talk about liquidity pockets are one of our favorite setups. We got a couple of them here, which is really nice. Gaming stream win? Yeah, that'd be kind of fun. I actually streamed Call of Duty one day while we were all chilling on a Friday. I threw it up.
Millions of people, criminals, prisoners that were let go from jail.
There was like 10 or 15 of you guys in here. We did like a game day with our group.
To the United States. You know what they're saving? The money they're saving?
On FundedNext profit, when you can withdraw. So as soon as you hit your profit target on FundedNext and you meet the consistency rule, you end up getting moved to funded the very next day. There's an activation fee, and while you're funded, you just have to roll the account $200 per day for 5 days to be a minimum trade. After 5 trading days, you can take a withdrawal as long as you have $500 or more in the account. You can take up to half of your account in one payment.
Done an incredible job. When they do this incredible job, and they capture 100 killers and drug dealers, and we can't keep them for years.
The margin pivot, it's from a class called illiquidity pivots. It's called our yellow line. It's a calculation that you have to do, and there's a whole process on how you do it.
Again, we're not going to have a country. Okay? Maybe one or two more. Go ahead.
Are you concerned that tariff may also affect companies like Tesla, which has parts manufactured abroad? And this is also to you, Mr. Musk.
Well, he's going to end up building his whole car here. I mean, I thought he built his whole car. Pretty much he does. He's got incredible factories, and like I looked at one in Texas. It's unbelievable. No, all of the manufacturers will build their parts here too. I mean, it used to bother me. They make a part in Canada, a part in Mexico, a part in Europe, and it's sent all over the place, and nobody knew what the hell was happening. I think it's ridiculous. You build a car, make it in America, and I gave them a little leeway on that. You know, gave them some leeway. But over the next year, they've got to have the whole thing built in America. That's what we want. We want America to buy American-built cars. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Oh yeah, dude. I was looking at that guy's stream. Oh, dude, there's nothing special there as far as trading style goes. Just brute force.
Let's go straight out here. Thank you. Thanks, guys. We can come back for the chords.
Brute force trading, rolling through accounts quickly. Basically just gambling, and I think that's just not really a good method unless you want to spend a lot of money. You can never do something like that in a real trading account. These are people that try to like create some kind of system around the whole prop world. You know, you need real trading skills to make this. And private Warzone tournament, determine giveaway winner. Oh hell yeah, that'd be cool. What happens with the consistency rule if you hit the target on day one? It means you just have to make more money. They extend your profit target by that much. An example is if you need to make 10K and consistency is 20%, and you make 5K and you busted the consistency, now the 5K is your biggest trade, and therefore your profit target of 10K now moved to 25K because 20% of that is 5K that you made. So it just makes your bigger your profit target needs to be a little bit bigger. All right, I haven't pushed the button since I closed out my trades here. I was long all the way back up to here, and I'm just waiting to see how the final hour plays out. I'm watching some of our indicators to see if anything's improving on the resilient side. Res is still negative, so the S&P is kind of limited up inside of there. I'm not ready to chase along from here yet. QQQ broke out of liquidity pocket, broke below hedge pressure. Ideally, what I'd like to see, which would be kind of the easiest approach, is that there's some kind of like end of the day flush that kind of comes down to some of those same targets and then makes its way back up into expiration and then closes there. I'd love to see something like that. And hedge pressure is that support. Lower DD band is that support, etc. You got 250Ks and hit 5K on both. Yo, that's not bad, Dan, because you don't have DLL on that. So you just basically babysit the accounts. You know, you have a whole lot of buffer to trade higher. They're just going to make you get, so 40% consistency on 5K is what, 12K now? 12,500? Right? So you need to go to $12,500 total on that account. And I think the 50K is 3,000, something like that. So you just got to trade longer, which is fine. You can inch your way there. Anytime you break consistency, what I do with that is I don't keep trying to trade big, Dan. All you do is now trade smaller because you have a huge 5K buffer on that account, right? Plus your drawdown. You have plenty of space to take some hits as you're trading it up. So anytime I luck into an account that way, that always becomes my okay, take it slow account, you know? How was I when I started trading? 28? When I started trading? $28, $29, something like that. No more trades today. No, I do want to take a trade. I need a pivot, though. I need a good pivot to play off of. Waiting for that. Guys, don't forget to sub to the channel. How many people here is your first day here and you came from maybe My Funded Futures earlier? Holy crap, we are breaking stream records again. My Funded Futures, I'm telling you, ever since we joined that channel, I'm not gonna lie. We have broken stream record after record for this whole channel. You guys are so awesome. This makes me happy to see. I'm super excited. No, Kevin, Mad Yoda, you guys are from here. Y'all have always been here. Who came from there like the first time it's your first day here? Goofballs. Here, right? So before I got on, some of the bigger streams, you know, were like, you know, 5,000, 4,000. And Tyler went on, there was almost 5,000 there. And Tanya went on with 7.7. She was like the big one. And I go on and we hit 8.7 and beat Tanya's views. And then today we had 9.1. This was a great day. And boy, I love seeing their channel grow. I'm super excited to be part of it. Almost 10,000 views. That's incredible. Very incredible. Hopefully you guys like it over there. I know y'all love it when it's just me, you know, here on the stream, but hopefully I bring some value to that channel and you guys enjoy it. Resilience getting better. There's that yellow line. How's this play out today, y'all? What do y'all think? Resistance here, sell off here. What do y'all think? You hear from my Funded? Awesome, awesome. Hey, don't forget to sub to the channel. Here in the mornings, we do giveaways every single day on this channel for a variety of accounts. I give away about 100-something accounts a month. We do maybe 2 or 3 a day. Today, I gave away 4 funded accounts with ETF. I give away Tradeify funded CBTs. I give away all kinds of stuff. My funded futures. I give away a ton of accounts. So if you guys are here at 11, just letting you guys know, right about, you know, an hour and a half before I go on to my funded futures show, we do a giveaway here. So make sure you guys are here for that too. And I trade every single morning from 8:30 when market opens, an hour before market opens until usually all day. Welcome to the channel, you guys. I don't know why I volunteered to go with iDoc to go shopping. She wanted some retail therapy today. And when I finally asked her where she's going, I was like, yeah, I'd love to go with you. Maybe I can go buy some shirts or something. I was like, where are you going? I was like, I'll go. I'll buy you a gift. And she's like, oh, okay, I'm going to Cartier. And I was like, oh. I unvolunteer. Dang it. I just volunteered for an expensive afternoon. Yeah, can we go to IKEA? Because I'm going to Cartier. I'm like, oh, crap. All right. Yeah, she already spent her gift on that $300 short. Oh, that's really funny. Did I get her the bracelet? No, not yet. I think she wants to get it today. I would say we could have, you know, Taco Bell sounds good. Get her a nice Crunchwrap Supreme. You know, it's kind of, you know, that's a good gift. Who doesn't like that? All right, so there's that yellow line press and push right up against here. No bearishness. QQQ, resilience is getting better on S&P, so this is good for a gap fill. This is good for a complete run up to the top. I am not at all shorting this. I'm not all fading this. I'm trying to find out where I can get it on this long if I find something. It's looking pretty solid right here. Yellow line is always really strong resistance. Those margin buffer pivots. This is something we teach in our boot camp. And by the way, no boot camp today, you guys. Y'all take the day off. At the end of the day, it's weekend. I'll let everybody know here too. heck? How did I enter a position? I didn't want to. What the fuck? Okay, I didn't mean to trade that. What the hell was I doing? Oh, oops! I clicked the freaking button on accident. Okay, that's not what I want to do. I'm just trying to like change the settings here and move some columns around. Don't do that. Yeah, no, false alarm. I closed that out. Oops, I accidentally entered a trade. Okay, I'm trying to get my stuff lined up so I can have one. I have my Tradeify and I have my FundedNext, like all slightly different looking because one's in the browser, one's in the thing. I meant to cancel that. Okay, done. Later, Gamut. Take it easy, bruh. Nice and bullish, resilience clean, nice and steady. Moving up here, moving up. In between the two hedge pressures, there is no selling pressure here today. Nothing. We got here. Question is, where can I get a good long from? We're about to tap QQQ liquidity pocket in a second. What is this liquidity map? So a liquidity map is something that shows you where basically the landscape of risk is in any kind of instrument. In this example, QQQ right here, you can see where QQQ is primarily bullish and where it's primarily bearish. And liquidity map is going to show you where pivots are and flow is going to be. Inside of this general area, QQQ now has upward pressure even from here to next resistance. Even from here is a launch point for more bullishness. By the way. And so our indicators that we use here look at the options market to try to find where pivots can be in the futures market. So putting them side by side, an example today was SPY, right? I was trading S&P futures on the MyFunded stream today. I was trading off of this bull zone and liquidity pocket all day long. This is bullish from the bottom of the zone. This is bullish through here. It's all really nice. Well, this thing's going to rally quick. Looking pretty solid here. QQEST, yeah, it's like almost there, right? Now we got yellow line on the S&P, and it's just pushing right through it like it's not even there. Let's see. Let's take a look. And SPY into close. Yeah, QQEST. Yep. Let's see what happens. Maybe I'll take a long off this 304. Shoot. Oops. All right. What do I have to do here? Okay, this one should be good. All right. Profit target 2,500. Check. Consistency 3046, and I made 3125. Perfect. Okay. Picking on my accounts that I just passed on my FundedNext. I'm making sure I got everything going. I got 2 of them already passed. Will be funded on Monday. This one is 40. This one needs a 6,000 profit target. Oh. Not bad, not bad. Okay. Ooh, running up. That gap fill there. EST on QQQ is really nice. Right back to where we started today, man. That's great. You thought it was frozen? You took it? I'm trying to double check that I was trying to see if all my FundedNext, that's why I was trying to play around with the windows here. I'm double checking to see if all my FundedNext are actually set up to show me like my or how far I am to like draw down and all that stuff. They have like all the trade of 8 columns and everything. Just double checking that I had passed. 2 of my accounts are passed, and one of them has a little bit more to go, which is good. EST on QQQ running 518 to 519. This is it, here to here. This is halfway through. This has about 30 more points to go. Or 24, so it goes right up to 64. Right about here. This is today's finishing move here, from here to there. And then maybe we interact through there. I don't have any trade to take right now. Crazy awesome end of the day there. Res is good on both sides, so good for gap fill, SPY. QQQ same. SPY filling its gap right up here where we started the start of the day. Nice and clean, ready to run. I might want to take a trade in this account here then. There's that hedge pressure tap right there, upper limit. 63 is that target I'm looking for. There is no downside to this, no volatility, nothing. This is probably frozen where we are in a locked up upward position from here. Very awesome on this move. Very, very cool. $64 incoming. Just literally no. Oh, that's amazing. That's some huge selling pressure there. What the heck is going on? That's a nice little crazy end of the day slam there. Oh, that's not bad. That's 20 points. That volume kind of came out of nowhere. Let's see. Is Trump talking? Something saying something? Let's see. What do we got? Oh, that was just do I want to take EST on QQQ? That was the long entry point to take. It's a pretty gnarly little, really rapid dump in the close. Probably just balancing out for the options expiration today. Not gonna lie. Maybe I'll take the long here. Thinking about it. Maybe dip right back down to this area here, EST long. What do you guys think? We're selling pressure in the close. What's your call, guys? Stopped you out? You were trailing? Oh, that sucks. That's juice squawking. What do we got? U.S. had asked China to resume rare earth exports. Beijing has slow-walked rare earth export approvals. U.S.-China trade truce risks falling apart over rare earths. Oh, okay. Trade war goes up. Trade war goes down. Trade war goes up. Trade war goes down. Trade war up. Tariffs on. Tariffs off. Tariffs on. Tariffs off. Can't wait for that bigger push. Let's go. Power hour coming up, guys. One more hour till we close. It's great to do this. Chillin'. Do I want to take the final long trade off a margin buffer limit pivot right here? S&P, QQQ kind of pulling back a little tiny bit. Do I want to long from here? NASDAQ. This is kind of like one of my favorite longs that we have. I could take it. EST liquidity pocket 40-point trade from here. NASDAQ. Let me clean off my chart here. We've got from this low candle here, 40 points up, all the way up to 63. From here to there, that's my target. Um, 10-point stop here. I'll stop at 04. Or 20-point stop, 2-to-1 trade. Let's go. Okay, good. Let's run it. I just grabbed one contract. I've been scalping this up the whole way up, so feel pretty all right with these. Take liquidity pockets every single time from point A to point B. This is good. I love it. I love this trade. This is a very simple setup. This is a very high probability setup. Let's run up to 63, baby. I take this trade every single time. I love it. One of my favorites there is. We're getting close. Today was a pretty solid day, guys. Like, I'm still kind of fighting This one account. So one of my accounts I'm just not touching much anymore. Let me show you guys. I haven't showed it up, in a while. This is my totals for today. Let me pop it on the screen. So I only have one account active, the one that you see on the screen here. This is my day's haul today. Was good, and then I took that loss on my funded. So remember, I was longing like in 2 of the accounts right here. And I was longing right on that. I took the scalp, took the long, and I was pretty heavy on it. And then I took the stop and got out of the way. And then all morning I was trying to crawl my way back. Each one of these accounts was down like roughly maybe 4,000 to 6,000. It was pretty bad. This one was down like 6,000 and this one was down 6,000. And I managed to pull both of those up. The one that's active, this one is the one I'm trading right here. And these are both my big accounts with Tradeify. So these are all 5 Tradeify straight to funded accounts. The one at the top is up about 50,000 in profit. The one underneath it's up about 40,000 in profit. So I have plenty of room to play. These are totally fine. Those made profit target today, so I was good. These are my 3 FundedNext accounts. These all 3 hit max consistency, and this one just hit drawdown. So overall, a green day, greenish day. So not bad, but don't worry, I got nuked on that too. And then on the My Funded stream, this one I traded back from minus 6,000 all the way down to minus 1,400. So we're good, and I'm still working on it. This one I just decided not to touch anymore for no reason other than I just want to kind of take one more trade back in. Best trading day ever. Today was a pretty damn good trading day, though. It was fun. The longs on the way up were awesome. The only reason I didn't trade it harder in the other accounts was just consistency. So I can't really go farther than 2,500 on each of those bottom 3 accounts. And at the top, I can't go over 2,000 on any of these. So these are locked at about 2,000. These are locked at 2,500. So not bad. Max profit on those guys. Mental or physical stop? I always use mental stop. I never put physical stops on unless I have to leave my computer. Yo, what's up, Dave? How you been, brother? Never have to recover in a full day anyways. Right, yeah, there's still all Monday. And my thought is always the same. Like, I never am motivated by, I need to turn this account green or whatever. I'm always motivated by what is a good setup, and I take the good setup, and that's basically it. If I don't have it, I don't have it. And it fell pretty nastily, but I was grabbing off of our 92% pivot at the bottom. When I was on My Funded TV this morning, or this afternoon, you guys saw me take that trade once and twice on stream. And then the market was kind of bouncing around here. I took this trade and then I closed out right when we broke up there. And that was how I finished up the hour there. And then I came back onto my stream and took a couple more longs on the way up. There we go. There's that 63 target. Let's go. 640 bucks. Let's close out. That's the target. I'm done. Perfect. 63 on the dot. Hit it. There it is. Bang. Bang, bang. I think we can do 598. Hey, what's up, China? 598? Like today? Like I'm all the way up here? Maybe so. Do I journal your trades? If not, why? I don't journal my trades. Should you? Probably. Journaling is, now people get journaling wrong because journaling serves a really solid purpose to a trader. Most people mistake journaling for strategy analysis, and journaling shouldn't be about I longed when the RSI was here and then I closed and the RSI was there. The trade didn't work or it worked. That's not journaling. Most people think it is, but journaling is more like you need to journal your emotional state while you're trading. I was trading and then all of a sudden Trump said something and then I felt nervous and then I made a trade and lost a lot of money. I realized when I jumped back into the trade because I was nervous and losing money, I added it again and I think I was panicking. Journaling should be a process of self-discovery of your emotions, and that part of trading is very helpful by you dealing with your emotions and reflecting on them just like a journal would be. A lot of people don't like open-heartedly dump their emotions into a journal, and they should. Most people, when I read people's journals, they're like, hey, can you analyze my trade journal? What do you think? And I read it and I say, this is absolute garbage. Well, they say, why? I mean, I put my risk, my reward, my stop in there. I'm like, that's not journaling. Journaling should be, in my opinion, A strategy analysis is a whole separate thing. Yes, analyze your strategy for risk and reward and profit and loss and make sure your strategy works. But journaling is a separate thing where you're exploring how you feel like when you're trading and how you experience things. Like today, oh man, my wife and I got in a fight and I didn't sleep well and I woke up nervous and I woke up like depressed and then I just like panic trade because I had to rush to work. This is the stuff that you journal, because when you're journaling anything down, you want to discover something you're doing that you can modify, some kind of behavior of yours that you can work on and change. It's not the strategy that you're really caring about. It's you, and journaling should be a reflection of you. And when you're a newer trader and you haven't figured out the emotional game yet, journaling is perfect because you're going to discover things that you didn't realize are a pattern. If every day you don't drink your coffee, you realize you have a losing trade, then you're discovering something about yourself. Don't not have your coffee or whatever it is. You're trying to journal to discover patterns in your own behavior, not patterns in your strategy, because that's just going to make journaling even harder. You're adding more degrees of freedom to the possibility of discovering something about yourself. So journaling, isolate it to feelings only, and you should be good. And the reason I don't journal is because I've mastered the feelings game. So logging trades versus journaling trades. Cody basically nailed it. There's like two totally different parts of it. Journaling, absolutely good if you haven't mastered the emotions game. Like me, it is very rare that I'm trading and I'm like freaking out or nervous or doing like, I'm so robotic after 15 years of doing this. I've kind of mastered. Journaling is always a good thing, but I can't imagine anything that's happened to me lately that's worth journaling that I'm like, I did this and did that. I kind of know myself so well and know trading so well that I've reached that kind of level of mastery with emotions that I don't really, I don't surprise myself much. I tend to behave the same way every day. And the end result of journaling is to be that way. You got to make sure that you're behaving in a consistent manner on a day-to-day basis and you know your routine. I get up, I'm here at 8:30 every morning. I'm trading the same way. I've got my pre-market routine down. I'm never interrupting it. I mean, it's such a good flow. And when you guys are journaling, your goal is to remove behaviors that are toxic to you or toxic to your trading. It's behavioral stuff. Great advice. Yeah. And then of course, like trade logging, it's completely different. Then you want to remove the emotions and then on its own, analyze the trades on their own merits. Like I got in here, got out there, did this, and I didn't make any money. Well, what was the reason? Well, the reason was because I got in at a bad entry point. Okay, well, that's different than I jumped in because I panicked long because I saw the market going up. Both of those need to be addressed in two separate places, right? So make sure that you're doing both. If you have a solid strategy, but your emotions suck, well, then journaling is good for you. Your emotions are great, but your, strategy is garbage, then, trade logging and strategy analysis. And these things are useful there. But they're two totally separate things, and make sure you separate them. You see how relaxed you are and how you make that boring in a sense. Yeah, right? I mean, I think it's master level. You're way too excited to trade every day. Well, bro, like I started trading when I was in like my late 20s. And trading was exciting to me. The ability to see actual money fall into my pocket was exciting. I felt that way too out the door. As the years went by and I got so far ahead that I don't need the money I trade with, I stopped thinking about it as money. And I started thinking about it just as trades. And that usually helps get you over that hurdle. Just survive long enough in this world. Survive long enough in your trading. And just be far enough ahead of your goals that the money is not your goal anymore. And then you feel free from it. And that's a big hurdle that most people may not get over for a while. But it does help. All this money that I make from trading, all this money I make from whatever, it rolls back into other investments. This isn't my spending money. This isn't my pay the car money, pay the house money. I got money for that already. This is just a game. In the game, I win the game. I can keep playing the game. If I win the game, I can play other games. And I don't see it. So I don't have the excitedness from it because I don't need the prize. And when you don't need the prize, you don't care about it. It's like if you ran a marathon and somebody's trying to chase you down to give you a certificate, you're like, I don't care about the certificate. It doesn't mean anything to you. Winning the race is what mattered, right? And that's usually a good level to be at. We stream every day. What's up, Abraham? Yeah, I do every single day from 8:30 in the morning until 12:30 in the afternoon. And 12:30 in the afternoon, I host a segment on My Funded Futures TV for an hour. I do their lunchtime show. And then after that, I come here and stream for the afternoon. Your strategy's good, your emotions are garbage. It happens, dude. Ego is too high. You have to rewire your brain to accept loss. That is exactly my problem. And it took me 5 years to get consistent. I think as a trader, you have a long path ahead of you with ego. It's part of us, dude. Smart people. You're probably very smart, very educated. You know your stuff. Been there, man. Been there. You see, the biggest hurdle in my life in trading is that chemical engineering degree on the wall. And that underneath it, you see I graduated with honors. I was third in my class. You know, I'm on third highest GPA in my class. Biggest hurdle I ever had. You know why? Because that made me think I was the smartest guy I knew. Everywhere I went. That made me think I can do anything. There's nobody better than me, smarter than me, faster than me. I'm the best. Right? That right there. In school, people looked up to me because I was so good at it. Okay. All right. I come to Wall Street. That's the first time in my life I found out that intelligence or math skills or whatever you thought you did before or college degree means absolutely nothing. And going into it thinking you're smarter than it and smarter than the people in it and going to figure it out is usually going to be your first downfall. Really, really, really hard to get over. And the idea was that I thought, I'm everything I touch I'm pretty good at, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to master this pretty quick. I'm sure. Sounds like a bunch of knuckleheads in Wall Street. We're going to buy apples today. We made like $1 million. And all these guys just sound like dumb people to me as a kid. And I was like, oh, these knuckleheads. I can beat these guys at this. I'm smarter than them. And I found out I really, it's not a game of smarts. It's a game of speed. It's a game of consistency. It's a game of managing emotions. And all that stuff I had zero practice with. And I got ass handed to me when I got started. Trust me. Part of it. I went to Texas A&M. No, I went to UVH. So I went to Houston. And the idea that, okay, it was a complete shock to me that I was horrible at something. And I was like, but this is numbers and this is math and this is charts and this is stuff. Like, I mean, I'm really good at math. Like how do people see something I don't see? How can people see patterns I don't see? And it was a real culture shock that reality, the skill set of a trader has nothing to do with reading a chart, picking the direction of the market, none of that stuff. You know, trading is about making risk-based decisions with money. It's about playing odds, knowing how big to bet, having confluence on those bets. It's an odds game. And like, I probably would be terrible at blackjack as well if I didn't know the odds either. I mean, there's a certain science to knowing the odds of what you do and then betting properly around it. Okay. None of that came from that degree. None of that came from high IQ. None of that came from SAT score. None of that came from anything I learned in school. It all came from practice. And I realized practicing in this game and learning my own flaws and journaling way back in the day about what I was doing wrong, I started to find out that I had my lack of things was my emotional part was always like, I had a hard time losing because I had a hard time being wrong. Because as a kid, I was never really wrong. And that is if I'm speaking new language, you're probably like, bro, he's preaching to the choir, right? That was it. I was so used to like, you know, getting a great score on a test. I was used to getting all the homework problems right. I was used to everybody after class coming to me, asking me how to solve this problem. I was used to like never being wrong a lot. And so in trading is like, you have to get used to being wrong most of the time. And that's a really big culture shock for a lot of people. Purdue engineering, bro, nice. Very, very nice. And that was my biggest hurdle was like, okay, Matt, you didn't want to be wrong. So you held on to it, or you added to it, and then you got worse, and then you panicked and you started freaking out. And then you're like, I can't be wrong. Like you're refusing to be wrong. And I realized that was my biggest problem, is refusing to be wrong. And I learned over time that I've just took enough punches in the stomach that you get numb to it. And if you're training to be a boxer, it's kind of the same thing. You know, the first time you get hit, it knocks the wind out of you, but over time it doesn't. And practice is the best way for you to just start to accept the fact that losses are part of the game. And your job is not to win every single time you trade. You need to kind of focus on, okay, a bigger goal. I need to win over time. Yeah. The calm background music is helping you. It's all part of the science, man. Like, we got to keep the energy sort of like mellow, focused, you know? Purdue's a really good school, man, for engineering. What Any other engineers in here? Like, what'd you guys study? What specialty, what focus, what sub-focus? I'm curious. Also came in and felt the same after undergrad. J-Dub, yeah, you know, you go to your job, you're like walking around the office, everybody you talk to, you're like, you know, they look up to you like, ooh, look, here comes the smart person. And you're like, yeah, I'm like, big man on campus. Like, I'm the smart one here, you know. And the skill set in trading is absolutely different than anything you can learn in school. It's more like an astronaut. Can you do your job under the pressures of being outer space, under the, you know, the craziness? Can you keep your emotions in check under high stress, extreme pressure? Can you detach yourself from the money? These are things that are really hard to do, especially if you grow up in a situation where money means a lot to you. And I had that same problem too, because when I was a kid, we didn't have a lot of money. So anytime we came across a lot of money, it was very special. My family would budget it, you know, like I remember one time my dad had found like $100 somewhere. We were like, we have $100 extra, you guys. We should do something with it. And my brother's like, let's buy this. And I'm like, let's buy Nintendo games. And my dad's like, no, we should save it. We should, like, the family was debating on what we do with the $100 we found. That's how little money we had. And I don't know where he found it or what. Like, I think he found it in like a pocket or something of one of his clothes. And that was like a huge deal. So we're like, let's do some things to figure out what this $100 is we're going to use it for. What do we need it best? And we made a list of things we need to spend it on and stuff. And so for me, I had a very kind of like love attachment with money, hard to let go of money sort of thing. And that also kind of hurt my progress because I was so used to latching onto the money that I found or had, like it was precious. And instead, when you're trading, you need to see this as numbers and it's not really money. If you're seeing the green numbers on the screen and you're thinking, oh God, 3,000, oh my God, that's my mortgage. Okay, down 5,000. Oh my God, that's like my month's paycheck. Then you start equating the value of the money to the loss, and that's where you spiral. In reality, the dollars, if you can remove the fact that you're losing dollars and you weren't even paying attention, that'd be even better. The idea is, you know, how many points you're going to lose and how many points can you lose per trade. And it's not really, there's no value to it to you. You're going to feel a lot better. And helpful. We're going to Dairy Queen. Oh, hell yeah. Dude, have you been to Dairy Queen lately? Has anybody had the tacos at Dairy Queen? I'm not going to lie. Dairy Queen has the best tacos of any fast food place. They are just like your own homemade Taco Tuesday tacos. Not greasy, like fresh tasting. And I swear, my mom turned me onto it. She's like, you got to try the tacos at Dairy Queen. They are like perfect. And then I started like going to Dairy Queen more often because there's one by my mom's house. And I realized later on in my life that Dairy Queen actually has some of the best food of any fast food place. The burgers are amazing. The tacos are amazing. It's been a while. Better than Jack in the Crack. Oh yeah. Sometimes you just want those greasy Jack in the Box tacos, but yeah, so much better. So aerospace engineer, comp sci engineer, electrical engineering, software engineer. Nice. Electrical. There we go. Started in chemie, degree in fire protection. Oh, very nice. Very nice. Fired in CE technology. Very nice. Aviation engineers, half of us are engineers. I feel like a lot of the engineers will kind of make their way over here in this group. It's kind of fun. Yeah, no, nobody knew that Dairy Queen sells tacos. My mom told me about it a year ago, a little bit over a year ago. And I went, you get a box of like 3 tacos. What makes them good is like you ever have your own taco night at your house, right? You make your beef, you put the seasoning, you get the lettuce, get the tomato. It's just like a fresh, clean tasting good taco, right? You go to Jack in the Box, they're greasy and gross. You go to Taco Bell, it's like a weird meat paste, right? It's just straight up homemade tacos. Super good. Crispy shell, not the cheap shell, but like a really hearty shell. Oh, they were so good. Oh yeah, hard shell. Sharing priceless advice, really appreciate it. Well, it's a hard journey and just allow yourself the understanding that it's going to take some time. If after a year goes by and you still haven't figured it out, you'd be like, you know what? That guy I saw on stream told me it took him 5 years. Okay. 5 years to really figure out how to control everything. It was a long process for me. I had so many hurdles to get over. Money I was attached to. My ego is attached to, all of that. And that, to me, it was a huge hurdle for me. From 2010 to 2015, I was struggling. 2015, 2016, I hit a stride where I felt confident enough to take it full time. And then lately, when I started using Rocket Scooter and building the tools I use now for this kind of style of trading I do, which mostly came to fruition after 2020. And my strategy got really solid. And then I started like exponentially growing. And that typically is the journey most people have. They'll usually say, 5 to 10 years. It was kind of their growth phase. And then 10 years plus, they hit their stride and start going. So keep in mind, it's a long process. And a lot of people, younger people, especially these days, are kind of like, 1 year in, or maybe like 2 or 3 months. And man, I'm not making money with this. This sucks. I give up. I mean, any skill set you want to do, doesn't matter. You want to play guitar? Okay. You want to be a welder? Whatever. All going to take you 10 years to master, 10 years plus. Nothing you're going to ever do is you're going to pick up and be good at a year. And trading's the same. It looks like it can be easy because it makes it, when you're trading, you think, I only got 2 options. I'm either pushing this button or pushing that button. Long, short. Which one do I pick more often is going to dictate how much money I win. In reality, there's so many things that go into trading. People mistake how hard it is by the simplicity of being able to throw your money at the market with the push of a button. People feel like that's all it is, and that decision. But there's so much that goes into that decision when you do it and how much you do when you do it, that people don't see that it takes a lifetime to master all those like little auxiliary pieces. Imaginary as engineers assemble. So I got my degree in chemical engineering, but my sub-focus was in reaction engineering. So underneath that sub-focus, I specialize in catalysis, and I did a bunch of graduate level classes as undergrad electives, because in my school, if you're going to go to grad school, your professor usually can allow you to take grad classes as an undergrad, just to knock credits out, because they really want you to focus on research at my university rather than classes. So I got approval to take all these cool catalyst reaction type classes in my undergrad as electives. Well, ultimately I didn't go to grad school, but I learned a lot about that. And then I got a job as a catalytic, as a reaction engineer. I worked for Dow for a little bit. My big job before I got fired due to the financial crisis in 2008. Got laid off 2010, along with half of my plant. And then I jumped into trading after that. But I did a lot of my research that I worked on was in reaction mechanics. So I was working on a big project for the government, and we were designing the catalytic converter for the diesel engine. We were part of one of the teams that were working on a piece of it. The Clean Air Act in 2007 mandated that all diesel engines had catalytic converters on them, and cars did already have them. Platinum as the oxidation catalyst, but diesel engines were a little more complicated because you had other components. You had to catalytically reduce and oxidize 2 different chemicals at the same time. So it's like a reaction that goes both ways. It was kind of a hard task to figure out how to do it. And now every diesel engine has a catalytic converter. And I'm one of the guys that worked on the recipe of which catalyst goes onto the substrate. I was one of the teams that did that. So I do have a small piece of, contribution to this world, which is nice. I like to believe that I had 1% of 1% of 1% effect on the global, SOx and NOx production. I was the lowly research bitch, though. Like, I can't really give myself too much credit, but I did 3 years of research in it. I worked directly for a postdoc and a grad student. I'd go in the lab and we were working on like what's the best recipe of catalyst for this type of reaction. We worked with a couple of teams in Italy and to kind of come up with the overall, how much catalyst, 60-40, what's this, how distributed is it, etc. And we would basically come up with a recipe, work on it, do a bunch of trials and errors and then look at the results and then kind of lean in one direction. And then we would call the catalyst manufacturer. They make us more, send it over with this recipe. We would test. So basically we were testing recipes for 3 years. We would get a new batch of recipes and they're just like, Matt, set up the experiment. I'd set up experiment every day and come read the results and see if this was better or worse than the last one. And there's all kind of normalization techniques because these kind of reactions are very sensitive to all kind of things like heat, humidity, even noise. Noise could alter our instruments. And so it's pretty cool working in a lab. Got to walk around with my socks on because you couldn't wear shoes in the lab because even your footsteps are loud enough to mess up the reading because it was a very sensitive pressure reading. Yeah, that was my life. So I did that as a young person. And there was all kind of teams around the world working on all kind of different pieces of that. But it's not like my name's on any papers or anything. I was the undergrad. What's up? What is that?
Wait, you're still talking to them?
I'm still talking to them.
Are you guys not tired of him? Like,
what are you doing? Why
it's
are
been
we
like,
just
what,
alike?
8 hours.
Are we? Why are we matching?
Wait.
We kind of look the same.
Wait, what?
Matching. Wow, thank you for lunch. I'm so hungry.
Never tired of Matt. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. You should learn from these people.
You
They never get tired of me. You always do.
You understand that you're sitting there and you're just typing back to him, right? But you're doing most of the listening for 8 hours. What? Hey, don't talk shit about my fanny pack. Love this thing. Champions.
What? What are you doing? Are you taking the kids to Disney World or something? What's up?
Hey, people were dogging on my fanny pack at the party.
As they should.
They weren't making fun of, like, my clothes were coming off or my makeup was weird. They were just.
Let me see. What you got in there? Let me guess. Chapstick, makeup. I don't know. I don't see anything in there at all. There's nothing in there at all. I don't know. Hold on, let me keep looking. Hold on. I don't see anything in there. What else do we got in here? AirPods, receipt. There it is. Makeup, chapstick. That's credit cards. We got some medicine. We got some makeup.
It's not a lot of stuff, I promise.
You've got what looks to appear to be like a mint from a restaurant that I don't feel like has maintained its integrity. What the heck? What is this? Look. Did you sit on this or what?
I must have.
Hey, look, honey, I'm going to tell you. Are you going shopping today?
Yeah.
I want to give you some cash to go shopping with. And
Wait,
I just
where'd
want.
you get that from? You never have cash on you.
I got it from my wallet. Don't ask questions. Here, this is yours. Here.
Well, when did you stop by the bank to get money?
I'm just gonna let you know.
You never carry cash. You always ask
Honey,
me for my cash.
I love you this much. I'm gonna give you.
It looks like my cash.
I'm gonna give you my last $80.
This looks like my cash.
Don't tell her, guys. Don't tell her.
He never, dude. He never carries cash in his
Never.
wallet. It's always like, oh, we get to the valet. Oh, babe.
Can I have $5? Yeah.
Like, you're just like so freaking lame when you take me on a date. I know I have to like dish out for the valet.
I drop $400 at dinner, and then we go out to the valet, and I'm like, babe, can I have $5?
He's always doing the shuffle.
Can I have,
Oh my
can,
God.
can I have $5? They're cash only.
You know you don't even have cash. Why do you?
Because I don't have a fanny
I
pack.
know, but the question is, you. So stupid. It's like, you know you don't have cash, so why even pretend to fumble through your wallet or fumble through your pants?
Because when I'm asking you for $5 at the valet, everyone looks at me like, oh, that poor girl. Like, like sugar mom over
The
here.
thing is, guys, valet where we live or in the restaurants we go to is not $5. It's $40.
Yeah, it's usually a lot.
It's a whole freaking meal.
Yeah, it's a lot. Well, 20 to 40. Yeah, sometimes 40. But yeah.
If we go to the symphony, it's 60. Like,
If they take card, I do it. Or if they take Venmo, you do it because I don't have Venmo.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And there's that thing too where it's like, sorry, sir. We only do Venmo and Cash App with this barcode. And you know what he says? You know what, Matt, this guy who built this whole platform you guys are using, trading on all this stuff that he has.
Oh, wait, hold on. I got a trade coming up. Keep talking. Hold on.
All of this setup. He tells me, I don't know how to use Zelle.
No, I don't. No, I know how to use Zelle. No, I don't have Venmo. That's what I don't have.
I don't have Venmo. I don't have Cash App.
I don't have Cash App either.
You also say, I don't know how to use it.
I know how to use it. I just don't. I don't know. I don't know how to.
He admits to it.
No, I know how to use it. I just don't know how to make a payment when I don't have the app. And then on the fly, I'm never like, hold on, let me stand out here and install the app and sign up for it. So I don't know how to to immediately use it in the moment. That's what I mean. You know what I mean? Like, let me just hold up the line for 10 minutes while I install an app and connect my bank account. As funny as this conversation is, I'm about to pay you back at Cartier in a little bit.
Okay, bye.
That's right. Here we go.
One last thing.
Bye. 10 minutes till market closes, guys.
He says he forgets his wallet, but it doesn't work anymore because I showed him how to use his phone to pay.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Bye.
I now can use my Apple Pay everywhere I go. Also, because I'm kind of like a boomer when it comes to apps. I need the young millennial, like Gen Zers over here teaching me how to use the apps.
An app is supposed to be user-friendly.
That's right.
Built the little platform.
Guess it is.
I mean, it is user-friendly, but it's not
What?
people like me. Like me, I can't figure that shit out.
Because you're not a trader. I can't open somebody's eyeball and tell them what's wrong with their cornea either. Like, you know what I mean? You can't just pick up my skill just by looking at it. It's an actual skill set. It takes a decade to master this. I just gave a lesson on that. All right, I'll see you in like 10 minutes. Okay, we got bears on top. Yeah, shoot jokes, but I never carry cash just because I never leave the house to go get cash for anything. Hi, Biggle. Do you guys carry cash with you when you go places? I just never seem to have it on me. Every once in a while I go to the grocery store, I'll get like $200 when they're like, do you want cash back? And I'm like, okay, this is for valet. But we go out so much, then the valet, they're like, sir, can I park your car in the front? I'm like, sure, whatever. And they're like, okay, it's $40. I'm like, oh, there goes my cash, you know? But some of them are starting to take credit cards now, which is kind of easy. She also didn't tell you who makes the car payments, who pays the mortgage, who pays the bills, and that's this car right here. So, about to buy the $8,000 Cartier bracelet. But it's kind of an inside joke with this now because I never seem to have cash when it's needed. And I'm always like, hey, can you toss me like $5 or $10? It's really our money, you know. Jokes aside, you know, we pull our money, so it's really our money anyway. It's really my money anyway. But maybe keep quarters in the car for parking. Yeah, like I never seem to have a quarter when I need it. Like I need to fill my car up with air or water, the air and water station. Put like 6 quarters in there to get your air turned on. I never seem to have that either. Okay, like 10 minutes from now, hopefully we get a tiny little pullback. I would say I might take one more scalp, and this would be kind of fun if I got it. If at the 350 algo, which comes right at the MOC, right? MOC submission time right here in about 3 minutes. If I fall to bear zone, I would love to scalp it right back to there. I'd love to see some red that I can just grab it super quick. And at least I don't pay with checks, right? I do have a checkbook that I never used though. I think they gave it to me when I opened my account. And it's very old and like the corners are all like tattered up and stuff. Y'all are like exposed. Yeah, that's kind of funny. It's not our money. Yeah. Who pays for everything? Don't even start with me. If it's not our money and it's your money, then, you know, maybe you can, maybe I can borrow $8,000 to go to Cartier. It's not our money. My money is her money. I should get the Cartier. I should fumble for my wallet and be like, hey babe, can you get this? Just kidding. Hey babe, can I have some cash real quick? The checkout. NQ ES. Right now I'm gonna be trading NQ. You're gonna write a check at the cashier's line for a reaction? Oh, that'd be hilarious. Can I borrow a pen? Okay, let's focus, guys. 1 minute till algo hits. From here, roughly speaking, that's going to be 60 points lower on NASDAQ. If it does fall, I'll grab that long just to close higher. 60 points from here, right about 24 on that level. This will be bear zone top. If I can get LP in the close, that'd be great. Rest is greater than 0, so it can actually close much higher. I'd love to see it just like press and press and press. I grab it for it to shoot up. Let's see if we get it. Hopefully not pop before drop, but maybe pop before drop. If it pops, I'll just miss it. We are completing the gap fill on QQQ, which is expected 520. Very nice. For anybody that was like shorting this or betting on market crashing and stuff or whatever, you know, obviously the market was bullish across the board all day today. And after the big nasty flush, I mean, the longs have been paying out ever since then. We've had great stats. We have filled the gap. Unfortunately, I didn't get a dip to long off of. This really not really actionable from here, but that would have been a nice little trade. Had to grab the more dip, but moderate sell in MOC. That's what I thought too. But we didn't get anything. Algo kicked on. Yep. Tiny, tiny. Passive 150 eval. Let's go, Michael. There you go. Don't forget to sub to the channel, you guys, because we'll be live Monday morning as usual. Don't forget to take advantage of our Rocket Scooter code. Everywhere you go in prop firms, we get the best deals out there, and they give us the biggest amount of accounts to give away, I think, of any streamer. Total throughout the various prop firms, we give out almost every single, maybe 20, 30 times a month, we give away funded accounts. Today, I gave away 4 funded accounts at 11 a.m. every single day. We do a giveaway. I start streaming at 8:30 in the morning, so pre-market I'm here, and then I stream all the way up until lunchtime, and then I host a show on my Funded Futures TV a little bit. Ooh, maybe get that pull back. See if we can grab that here. Okay, nice to hit that 304. Let me see what S&P's doing. Or 324. S&P's got nothing to play off of. Kids focus on QQQ. That'd be crazy if we just got like a flurry of red candles. I would totally grab Arizona top if we got it. That'd be all the way down to like 324 though. That's a little bit lower. Did you guys see the My Funded Futures numbers? I don't know if y'all saw it, but ever since I joined their cast, we now have the highest viewed stream in that channel's history. And actually, we had the record 2 days ago, and then we broke our record again today. So we had almost 1,400 more viewers today. I really like to thank you guys for your support of me, and your support of the channel. Obviously, iDoc and I both thank you for being so cool and awesome to us. Y'all are like family to us. It's great to be here with you guys every single day. How's your levels work for the London session? We have pivots that we give in our Discord for the overnight sessions. They're really this orange line and this blue line are both pivots from the London session. All right, see if we can't get, all right, another drop here, 40 points lower, right at about, actually it's closer to 33 now. I can get 33, I'll take it. I never trade this long. I don't know why I'm even streaming until close, but hey, we're gonna hang out with you guys till then. You said they're lucky that I partnered with them? Oh, well. Well, I appreciate that. All right, I do love to trade off of liquidity pockets, so 518 would be a tap. I don't know if we get it really quick, like it's just a really rapid flush. I can grab something on. That'd be nice. Close to 33. No, we can get lower than this. I usually don't trade these last 10 minutes, but liquidity pocket in vicinity is always a really solid trade. It wants to close the bull zone because it opened bull zone. This is like our stat. About 90% of days will stay in the same zone they opened in. Open and bull, close and bull. It's really nice. And any pressing down inside of here, the opportunity is just good to snap it right back up. Instead of betting long into the close, bigger, higher than this, I would love to see any kind of dip to snap it back up. Nice. The change in OI are even more valid for the London session. Well, yeah, you will know the change in OI overnight before the London session, but the options won't have any valuation or pricing at that time in US markets because they're closed. So we won't have the complete picture until the morning. But even so, the futures pivots that we do post are based on the estimate model, and they're very solid. This blue one that you see me bouncing, 356, this is one of them. This orange one is another one. They're really nice. They're really solid for the London session. Hopefully you guys weren't caught trying to short this at all the whole way up, and you know, maybe I'll read that long all the way back up. Things are looking pretty solid today on the bull side. Yeah, that candle sucks. And it give me an opportunity to play on, but also we're running into Friday expiration, you know, a little run up, exposed calls in the money, that big flush today. A lot of that probably squeezed out a lot of traders and forced a little bit of shorting, and now this is forcing a little bit of longing into close as people are expiring these weekly options across the board. You're gonna take 59.15. I know, like I was looking at that. I mean, I don't want to risk anymore. I had a pretty decent day. It was a struggle, like you know, I'm sure a lot of you guys struggled. So did I. These were the stats for the final lead stats for the day. My 4 FundedNext accounts. This is what happened. This is my one funded account with them. Took a loss to max loss. This account and this account now are both passed. So now I have 3 funded accounts with FundedNext. I just started with them 10 days ago. So I'm pass. These are the no DLL accounts. The big special they had today, which is over. 0 DLL. No daily loss limit, which is incredible. This one has roughly $1,800 more to go to pass to be funded. Then I'll have 4 funded. These are both 100Ks. These are both 50K. So I have a mix and match of 2 of each. And then down here are my Tradeify straight to funded. So this one's up 50,000. This one's up 40,000. Each one of these are up maybe like 15, 20,000, something like that. Somewhere in there. And these guys all made money today. These guys struggled a little bit. These were the 2 I was trading, and the dump crushed me pretty hard. And I was down roughly like 6 grand in both of these accounts. And then I fought back a little bit. On my Funded Future stream, I was just focusing on this one and this one at the start on that first CD bounce. And then after that, I was just focusing on this one. As soon as this one got to like a $4,000 loss, I was like, I'm totally fine with the $4,000 loss. You know, it's totally fine. The account has plenty of fat in it. And then the other one, I just decided to work all day on, which you guys watched me on the stream. Scalp this one long from minus 6,000 all the way to minus 1,400. I'm very happy I managed to turn it into a less red of a day, which is good. But yeah. No Zoom call today. No boot camp, man. It's Friday. Y'all go enjoy your weekend. Speaking of, market closes in 2 minutes. I had a good time, you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Like I said, we're pressing harder on the stream every day, streaming kind of around the clock now. You can catch me all day long, pretty much on YouTube somewhere. And of course, come to my stream. We do giveaways. Come to My Funded Futures. They do giveaways. I think they give away like 20 or 30 or something accounts today, or maybe 20 experts. So, and that My Funded Futures stream, they love doing giveaways. When I'm there every hour, last 3 sessions, they've done huge account giveaways. I think the first day they gave away like 50, something like that. So you've noticed bank holidays always get repriced and that dump swipes low from Monday. Yeah, pretty much, right? You have, yeah, things move quicker too because you have that holiday's worth of theta like baking in, I think, ahead of time. Oh, here's some movement. All right, market is closing in exactly 1 minute. Maybe 1 second. Hold on. Ling, 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 ling. And there she goes. And that's a wrap, guys. Today might have been a lot of people's hardest trading day ever for the actual freaking stock market to go nowhere. Such as trading, such as life, such as the craziness of Wall Street. But you know what? Thank you for tuning in. I love you guys. Thank you for supporting the channel. We are growing so fast, so big. It's incredible. You know, only in December where we're getting like 300 views per stream, and now we're getting 7,000 plus another 9,000 at Funded Futures. I'm getting almost 20,000 views a day. Incredible. And thank you guys for all the support. We love you all to death. From my Doc and I and Pickle, thanks for tuning in. We'll see y'all later.
Makes the weak ones fly. Future volume crystal clear. Rocket scooter leads, no fear. No more guesswork, no more loss. Seeing past the others cross. Institutions will be seen. Predict the flow like a machine. Rocket scooter, you've got the key. Pull back curtains, let me see. Trends we ride with heads held high. Resilience makes the weak ones fly. Future volume crystal clear. Rocket scooter leads, no fear. No more guesswork, no more